It's hard to believe that it's been 20 years since South Africa first became a democracy. In 2 decades, the world has changed immeasurably, and tech has come on in leaps and bounds. This year's general elections will be the most tech-savvy to date, and the media has certainly cottoned on. The advent of 24-hour news and a range of cool gadgets means the way we get our information on May the 7th will be quite different to past polls. Mabale takes a look.
It used to be the only way that you could get your news was by opening up a newspaper, turning on the radio, or watching TV. These days, you can get updates in the queue at a supermarket, while busy getting a manicure, or surreptitiously during those endless, boring corporate meetings. Convergence multimedia production has changed the way that news is broadcast. ENCA is South Africa's first independent 24-hour news channel, which is also available on the Sky digital platform and is broadcast in hundreds of thousands of homes in South Africa and the UK. Its sister channel, ENCA Africa, is available across the African continent.
We have a whole host of different media platforms on which we broadcast news. Apart from conventional television broadcasting, you can find us on livestation.com, which is a free web streaming service. We also have our own web page, which also drives our social media and has a whole host of interactive features and content.
With new multimedia platforms comes new rules and responsibilities. News networks can't afford to get things wrong, and incorrect information can be deeply damaging to a brand's credibility.
The ways in which news stories are broken have been changed radically with the social media, but at the end of the day, you still have to check your facts as much as possible. I really think it helps having broadcast veterans and really good trained journalists actually tweeting in the first place. For example, in the Oscar trial, where a lot of things we can't show or say is tweeted by one of our most seasoned reporters. And we put that on the screen during the trial. And the Twitter feed is at the bottom of the screen so you can see it at all times. So it's also not only changed the way we broadcast information, but the way we do it technically as well.
Fresh off the Oscar Pistorius trial and the incredible boost that daily soap opera gave to the media, South Africans now prepare to go to the polls. Now, elections are generally a very busy time for the media, with an increase in consumption of media across the board. And this year, it's particularly significant as South Africa reflects on 2 decades of democracy.
We're broadcasting elections 24 hours a day across all the provinces across the nation, including the National Results Centre, and we're using a whole host of broadcasting technologies to do that, from conventional satellite news gathering to electronic news gathering to internet protocol television, which is a way of sending a live signal over wireless broadband.
We live in an era of information overload where everything is tweeted, retweeted, and then subtweeted within minutes of it happening. Now, the trick for news organizations is to separate the wheat from the chaff by generating stories that are ethical and verified. In terms of the upcoming general elections in South Africa, there will be a number of platforms to choose from when it comes to getting accurate and contextual information. Google has recently launched its South African Elections Hub, an online portal where voters, journalists, and campaigners can easily track all the latest news, trends, and information related to the 2014 elections. News 24 has also redefined context and accurate election information with their new election maps, which is the first time in South African journalism history where digital map functionality is used to keep track of election information and results. This is by far the most tech-heavy election South Africa has ever seen. In the last 20 years of democracy, a lot has changed. People have more access to information, and it's all out there for the taking, from policies to analysis and minute-by-minute election coverage. And if you believe that more information and a better informed citizenry translates to better choices at the polls, then there's a lot to celebrate as South Africa enters its 20s.